Lauren.
And I'm Alex.
And we're here during October at the end of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So today we're going to be preparing a healthy recipe for you that will help fight cancer. But first we just want to talk a little bit about breast cancer. So it is the most common cancer found in women, but men are not excluded and they can get breast cancer as well. The current stat is 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer. May sound scary, but there's plenty of things we can do to help prevent getting breast cancer, including staying on top of regular screenings such as mammograms. So it is important starting at age 40 for women to have the option to get a mammogram. So you can speak with your primary care provider about that. Starting at age 45, women should get a mammogram every year. And then starting at 55 and older, you can switch to an every other year schedule for the mammograms. And this is something to talk to your primary care provider about. Mammograms might sound a little unknown, but I will say that they are not scary and super easy. We do have a little information on mammograms here, and myself or one of our community health workers could talk to you about what that would look like. Here at Glick, we do have a mammogram bus coming up on November 24th. So if you'd be interested in getting your mammogram here in a traveling bus that provides that service, we could get you scheduled, and you're welcome to call here at the health center. Another thing we can do to stay on top of prevention for breast cancer is just knowing the signs and symptoms and doing regular checks on yourself and looking for any of these common signs or symptoms of breast cancer. And this image will be posted along with the recipe today, so you can stay on top of that. I think that's all I've got for you now, so I'm going to turn it over to Alex, and she can share a bit about what you can do as far as nutrition to prevent cancer.
Awesome. So for today, we have a beet and Mandarin salad recipe that we'll be sharing with you. And what we love about this recipe today is that it features only 3 ingredients, all fruits and vegetables. You can whip this up in about 5 minutes or less, and then it's super affordable. So it comes out to just over $1 for the amount of ingredients we'll be using for today. So for the recipe, you'll need a can of beets, specifically 1 cup. You'll need a can of Mandarin oranges. Again, 1 cup we'll be working with today. And then you'll need about a tablespoon of golden raisins. Okay, great. And then we're excited to feature the beets today because it's a pink food in celebration and in honor of National Breast Cancer Month. We know that a diet high in fruits and vegetables can be very protective in preventing cancer, such as breast cancer. So we're going to start the recipe off by draining and rinsing our canned items first, which we did in advance. When you're shopping for canned items like fruits and vegetables, with vegetables, it's important to try to look for no salt added. And if you can't find that variety, you can just give it a good rinse under running water to rinse off some of the excess sodium or salt. Same with the fresh fruit here. We're looking for no sugar added or in 100% fruit juice to limit the amount of sugar that we're taking in. Okay, so we're going to start by prepping our beets here, which Lauren's going to show us how to do.
Awesome. So Alex kept it easy on me today, and we have canned beets, which is nice because they're already cooked, they're peeled, they're even sliced. So today we're just going to cut those into a matchstick. Whatever item you are cutting, it's always good to have a flat surface on the cutting board as opposed to trying to cut, a beet that's round. That's unsafe and kind of difficult to cut. So always good to start with the flat side on the cutting board. So we're just going to cut into nice little matchsticks, nice and thin.
Awesome. And then a tip here too is to use a plastic cutting board instead of a wooden cutting board, because the beet will stain any type of wooden surface you're working with. And you may be curious what's responsible for that bright, vibrant color of the beets. Well, that's due to a class of plant pigments, and they're called betalains. Betalains are a super powerful antioxidant, and they also have anti-inflammatory properties. Beets are also rich in the antioxidants vitamin C and manganese. And antioxidants are really important in preventing cell damage and boosting our immune systems, which makes them protective against cancers. Great,
Yeah, look at that vibrant pink purple color, kind of similar to our pink shirts today. And hiding in all that beautiful color, as Alex described, is that disease-fighting potential.
Awesome. And if you've never had a beet before, they have a very natural, earthy flavor to them. For this recipe, you could also buy a fresh beet. So this is just to show you kind of what that would look like. So when purchasing a fresh beet, you want to make sure there's no kind of cuts or bruises on the outside of it. And then the green leaves can be a really good indication that the beet is fresh if they're vibrant and green. And a fun fact is you can eat the greens. You could saute them up and include them as a side as well.
Definitely. Test out your adventurous nature.
Awesome. So next we're going to go ahead and add in the mandarin oranges. So again, it's a cup of our beets here and a cup of the mandarin oranges. You could use fresh oranges as well. Maybe you want to do another fruit like apples instead, so you can be loose on whatever you may have on hand. We made this recipe a week ago for our native elders, and we used actually canned pineapple and incorporated that in there as well. And now we're going to add the golden raisins here and incorporate that all together.
And what a cost-efficient recipe you're preparing for us today, Alex. How much was the total cost for this one?
The total cost for this recipe was $1.13, and it serves about 4. Wow. So it comes out to just under 30 cents per serving.
Wow, that's so awesome for all this good nutrition.
Yes. And then lastly, we're going to finish by grating in some fresh orange zest here. So this is optional, but just to brighten the flavor a little bit. We'll be using a microplane grater. If you don't have a microplane grater, you can use a cheese grater or a box grater will do. So we're just going to run the orange along the grater here to add that fresh zest. And then you want to be careful to not go too far beneath the skin. If you get any of that white part of the orange in there, that's going to add some bitterness, which we want to try to keep out. Just going to add that in here.
So Alex, if you happen to have been growing beets in the garden this year, could you use fresh beets in this salad too?
Of course you could. So just to give you an idea of what that would look like, we did cut open a fresh beet here. So you could dice it up into small pieces and add that into your fresh salad today. You could even use a grater and grate it into your salad. So you can definitely do many different things with beets, and we hope that you give this a try. I do want to mention that there is a resource called the Indigenous Pink Cookbook that features pink traditional foods and recipes. So we're going to make sure to share that with you today. And please try one of these recipes at home. You can try, working with any new fruit or vegetable and get creative and find new recipes. Again, it's so important to have those fruits and vegetables, trying to make half of our plate at mealtimes, fruits and vegetables, to get all those nutritional benefits and help protect against cancer.
Yeah, and what a great way to have kind of a sweet dish but sneak in a vegetable to get that added benefit of the fiber and health benefits of including vegetables. And the salad is so forgiving too. I bet you could make some multiple swaps here if you had different fruits that you wanted to add, and the recipe would taste just as good.
Definitely. One idea too is you could even add in some nuts or seeds to get a little protein. Maybe you want to even add a whole grain like quinoa or wild rice, just to incorporate some more of those healthy food groups too. So you can definitely, like Lauren says, be forgiving with this recipe and put your own spin on it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. And just like breast cancer prevention and other cancer preventions, it's great to stay on top of your medical care and have that yearly visit with your primary care provider just to make sure you're staying nice and healthy. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Let us know if you have questions.